This is how to easily beat the Empires of the Undergrowth level, Cold Blood, on Impossible, with the challenge active, using pervasive ants. I previously made a tutorial on this, but challenge mode technically wasn't active, and I was using vigorous ants. Alright, first thing, turn off food and combat for your workers, and get to the surface immediately.
She may be far from her native habitat, but the fire ants are well known for their ability to adapt.
Alright, now we go and try and collect these aphids right off the bat. If we're lucky, we won't get attacked on the way in.
The colony lies in the shadow of a great titan to the north.
By the way, the bullfrog will immediately eat another frog as soon as you look at it on the map. So that's an interesting little fact. Alright, so the goal here is to get these aphids, number one, for more food, and number two, to keep them away from the big-headed ants. If you go for this right at the beginning of the game, then the big-headed ants won't be harvesting it yet, so we can do this without triggering them. And you have just enough ants to get every single one of them. Now, it looks like we're going to get mugged on the way back to the nest. That's fine, because we can just wait for this guy to leave and then pick up the aphids from the floor here, the ground. The main goal is to just get them off of this hill so the big-headed ants won't use them.
Nutrients vital for plants to photosynthesize and grow. To survive in this environment.
So the difference between vigorous ants and pervasive ants is that vigorous ants get a buff to speed, damage, and defense for 2 minutes after spawning, after hatching, and pervasive ants, their first hatch is always free, and every hatch after that costs 4 food like normal, unless the egg has been on the tile for at least 90 seconds. So you put the egg on the tile and 90 seconds later it charges up a free hatch. If the ant associated with that tile dies before you charge up a free hatch, then it will just cost food to hatch as normal. The advantage for using really? They're here already, okay. The advantage to using pervasive ants is that you can lose your entire squad in one failed attack and still recover fully. Now, the little black ants and the big-headed ants will steal your aphids. If you're lucky, they won't do that on the first day. I got really unlucky, and they immediately decided to steal aphids. They might not take all of them, though, I don't know. And but we still have all these aphids here that, if they're on the ground, no one's going to pick them up, most likely. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. Let's actually keep our workers in the group. I don't know why they just sit around here. Like, either steal the aphids and leave, or don't come here at all, because they're just camping it and preventing me from getting anything from it. Alright. Gonna wait for these guys to hatch, and then we are going to go and take this dude out. So you are weaker as pervasive ants. Dude, just get the aphids and leave, please. You are weaker as pervasive ants, but you can afford to take more risks because losing ants is not as bad with pervasive. We're going to go in here and attack these guys, or this guy, there's only one. Send everyone in. Excellent. I'm already planning out my brood chambers. So we're going to build one full chamber of 19, and then we're going to upgrade it to level 3 because fire ants get extra... Fire ants get one extra ant at level 3. Okay, so it looks like the little black ants tried to take some aphids, but they got attacked by a beetle. Alright, 8 ants. That should be enough to start taking on spiders if we can get them isolated. Just fight one at a time. We're not making food storage because we actually want to keep our food as close to 0 as possible at all times, because that way it will force these tiles to only respawn to only hatch when a free hatch has been charged up. Alright, going to go ahead and attack this spider here. If we can get everyone to group up, there we go. Alright, we got him. Spiders they do the same damage as beetles, but they're way weaker. Let's take a look at this. Damage is... okay, it doesn't tell me the damage for some reason. Oh, yeah, it does. 18 damage, 18 damage and 60 health. Beetles have 200 health and 20 damage, so it's a big bonus. I don't know what I'm saying. Beetles are tougher, that's my point. So, fortunately, we actually didn't permanently lose any aphids. That's fantastic. If we're really lucky, we can get aphids from the little black ants as well. So, we do have fishing spiders here, and when you build bridges, then they will attack you. They are incredibly powerful, but in cold blood, you really don't need to worry about them, because the only thing you get from bridging is aphids, and they're probably just going to get stolen anyway. Speaking of which, our main strategy for this level is going to be to not defend the aphids. The reason for that is because as soon as you start your first combat with either ant colony, they will become hostile and will invade you occasionally. And that is a massive drain on resources and time, because you have to basically just stay on alert at all times for enemy raids, and you don't really get an opportunity to do other stuff because you have to just stay near the entrance of your nest to defend it from the other colonies. So it's better to have few or no aphids than to trigger the enemy colonies. Unfortunately, that means that you probably will have to restart a few times. Okay, that was incredibly unlucky. Got two of those guys at once. We have charged up more food from our aphids, that's great. You most likely won't get these aphids, so don't worry about them. Let's see, I think harvest quantity 15. Okay, so the soldiers actually have the same harvest ability as the workers. That's interesting. So as you can see, we're spending our food immediately. I wish there was a way to disable spawning from food, like so you only respawn if the spawn is free. The advantage you get from using pervasive ants in this level is that you can afford to take more risks, because even if you lose all of your colony to a spider, you can still regenerate everybody and go for another attack at some point. I think this is going to be the first chamber we attack, because one adult checkered beetle is worth like 6 little baby ones. They're way tougher. So the beginning of the game is pretty slow and boring, but it will pick up. I'm going to try and get the achievement where you kill 3 fishing spiders in a row. We'll see how doable that is. Probably not very, but we can try. And as I mentioned, we don't have much to lose because free spawns. I'm already planning my nest chambers. I usually dig one here, then I'll dig out one here, and then after that I'll just expand them and maybe add a couple more. You really want to level these guys up to level 3, because if you do that, you get the extra ant. Getting 2 level 3 ants at level 3 is effectively the same as it basically means that, let's see, it takes 40 food for one, so that's 120 food to get 1 tile to level 3, and it gives you 2 level 3 ants. So 120 divided by 2 is 60. So effectively, you get one level 3 ant for only 60 food, which is only 10 more than you get for black ants. And these guys are way more powerful. Still not confident I can take down the checkered beetles underground, so we're just going to camp aphids for now. Once nighttime comes, the enemy colonies won't attack you, so just keep that in mind. We also don't want to stay right by our aphids, because if we're right here when another enemy colony attacks us, then they will automatically become hostile. Even if you don't attack them, once they see you, they will start attacking.
As the sun sets, the local amphibians begin to emerge from moist crevices near the water's edge.
Now, if we were using vigorous ants, we would probably already be strong enough to take down some of these underground chambers, but we are not using vigorous ants, so we do have to wait. They're slower, but they're more consistent, at least in early game. In early game and when you have a big colony and you don't want to worry about having to start over if you lose most of your soldiers. So I should be able to clear out some of these chambers after one more wave of food from the aphids. The way the aphids work is each one generates a certain amount of food, I forget how much, and once it does that, then let's see, I forget exactly if, because it has a, once you get one wave of food, then it there's a timer before more food will spawn there. I don't remember if the timer starts once you've collected the food, or if it starts once the food appears ready to be harvested. But each aphid is on an individual timer, so it's generally best to, instead of, like, if it generates food but it only generates like 7, then it's probably best to wait until it generates all of them so you can collect them all in one swell food instead of having to camp here for like 20 seconds to get a little bit of food at a time. That's what I do anyway, and it seems to work pretty well. Now, you actually don't want to dig this chamber, or this chamber out. I forgot about that, because if you do, then the toads will attack you on night 1, which we really don't want to happen. We can actually camp aphids here tonight, because the enemy colonies, as I mentioned, will not actually try and attack you or loot aphids until daytime.
It's only a matter of time before one tunnels its way into the nest.
So hopefully we're going to try and get all the food underground by around day 3, because at that point the frogs will start burrowing directly into the nest regardless of how far away they are. These guys will, I think on night 2, these guys will dig directly into your nest even if you haven't dug out these chambers, but on day 1 they won't do that. Now that we've got a full chamber of 19, we're going to level them up to level 3 before we make a new chamber, because you get quite a bit of a boost from it, from them all being level 3. The only downside to that is that they're all in the same chamber, so you can't split them up, but that's a small price to pay. Alright, I think we should be able to take these guys down now. We're going to stay over here because we want to fight them directly on top of our brood tiles, so reinforcements can get into the fight right off the bat.
A fully developed checkered beetle, Enoclerus rosmaris.
Let's take a look at his stats. 350 health, 18 damage. These guys have 50 health and 10 damage. So the adults are way stronger than the babies. So it's definitely better to fight multiple babies than one adult. We notice these frogs have already left. Technically they are actually frogs because they can swim. If it swims, it's a frog, otherwise it's a toad. Same with turtles. If it swims, it's a turtle, otherwise it's a tortoise. Even though they're called toads, they're not technically toads. Alright, daytime's coming. So we want to get all of these dug out before tonight, because we're going to get attacked by frogs either way, and we want as much food as possible.
Only the great bullfrog remains. She sits patiently on her throne, waiting for the next meal.
Keep upgrading. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and go in here. See, this one has 5 babies and 1 adult. Both of these are probably going to be easier to take down, even though they have more babies in them. I probably should have waited till they got closer to the spawn platforms, but again, we're using pervasive, so respawning isn't that difficult. By the way, to get whenever I see people upgrading their ants, they always upgrade in a very weird pattern that isn't the most effective. So what you want to do if you want to get ants to level 3 as soon as possible is upgrade the middle 7, then one in between, like one here, not here. So one that connects to 2 chambers, then one here, and then one here. And you can change that. You can do like one here, here, and here, or any other combo as long as they're here on the flat parts and not the pointy parts. And after that point, then you can get all 7 of these upgraded to level 3. Alright, quickly go ahead and try and collect some of this before we get attacked by other ants. Can already get a level 3. Oh, look out, look out, look out, look out! Come on, come on, go, 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 go. Looks like we just barely got out of the way in time. That was close. Yeah, I should have kept a little closer eye on them, but fortunately it seems to be okay. If you don't get a message from the narrator telling you about the other ants attacking you, then you should be okay. Alright, now we're going to go up here.
The fire ants are menacing, but in large numbers, they are virtually unstoppable.
And we'll go ahead and attack immediately. Why not?
Predators are loose in the nest.
We're a lot stronger now, so these guys are going down pretty easily. It's okay if we lose aphids now, because we've already gotten so much food from the aphids that losing a little bit isn't going to be a huge problem now. So now we can finish upgrading all of these. To upgrade a tile to level 3, you need 7 points. You get 1 point for each level 1 tile that it's connected to. You get 2 points for level 2 tile, 3 points for level 3 tile. So you at least need to surround it by either other tiles or walls. And you can use either speed tiles or tiles of the same type. Alright, so now let's go ahead and open this up, make another chamber. Yeah, these took a lot of aphids. Anyone else coming to get us? No, looks like we're good. We can go collect the remaining food. Keep an eye on these guys. Keep an eye on the map. Make sure we don't get mugged by anyone else. And excellent, the spider is killing the other colony. That's wonderful. Sometimes if both colonies attack at once, they'll fight each other. It's pretty great. They won't invade each other, but they will fight, and that's nice. So day 2, we have 25 ants. Several of them are level 3. Very good. We are now going to take out this chamber.
Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected.
These guys are faster than these guys, so if you wait for him to get a good head start, then your ants will focus on that guy instead of the babies, because he's in front, and so he's going to be the first one they see. So now we go ahead and we upgrade tiles on these pointy parts, and then we can upgrade these ones more in the middle. Should be strong enough to take this chamber on now. Actually, let's get some more food first. We're not being invaded by the other ants. And then we can start fighting above ground and killing some spiders and maybe even beetles. Yeah, this is the hardest level to get food in. That's why pervasive ants are pretty decent. They're not good in the next level, though. So that's going to be pretty difficult. I've never actually beaten a bridge too far with pervasive ants on the hardest difficulty, on Impossible. Alright, so going to take these guys down. Don't want to send our ants directly in here. We want to group them up here where there's lots of room for them to fight, and also they're closer to the respawn, so reinforcements will arrive faster.
There are intruders in the nest.
See, they're coming ahead of the other guys. That means that our ants will focus on these dudes because they're the first ones they see. And that's good. That's what we want. We want to kill them as fast as possible because they do the most damage. There we go. Alright, so now that we've taken those guys down, we are going to go ahead and collect all the food and then go outside. But we're not going to get aphids. I mean, we are if we can, but we're going to focus on trying to kill enemies. So let's bring our ants up here. If you can collect these aphids without getting attacked by spiders and things on the way there, and without angering the other colony, having all these aphids on top of these ones and the ones you start out with gives you so much food. But that's unlikely because... Oh look, we already killed a spider without even thinking about it. That's nice. Yeah, the spiders are way, way weaker than the beetles. Also, if possible, want to go up here to get the slugs from the plant there, or the caterpillars. Those are baby caterpillars, and you can get them for free food. The fact that these spiders jump at you actually makes them easier to fight because they jump right into the middle of your group, so you can all start attacking at once. Also, these guys will fight sometimes, so you'll just see dead bodies there that you can pick up. It's really nice. Don't go over here because that'll spawn a wasp. We don't want to deal with that yet.
A six-spotted tiger beetle.
They're called six-spotted tiger beetles. You can barely see the little white spots there. Okay, this is not good. We're getting attacked by like 7 at once. That's not fun. Okay, it's like 3, but that's still a lot considering how strong they are. gonna need to use some speed tiles here, but it should be fine. Generating a little more food here. We almost have a full group of 37 ants. 37, 38, I think. Alright, let's head back out here. Oh yeah, there are little dandelions you'll see every now and then that fall, and you can collect them for food. They're not that useful, though, because most of them fall off of the mound where the enemies are. But they're a nice little bonus if you can somehow get some of them.
The ants must fight.
Alright, let's go back up here. By the way, if you're interested in beetles, there's a YouTube channel called Dumb Doggo that makes these fun informational videos, informational animations. Like Ice Cream Sandwich, but educational. And he just recently made a video about beetles. Oh yeah, these are carnivorous plants. Basically their only real way to deal with them is to just let them kill your ants, and then they'll close and they won't eat any more ants for a little while. That's really the main way to deal with them. And with pervasive ants, it usually won't cost food to respawn them, so it's actually worth it. There's also these pitcher plants. You can loot food from them if there's no spiders on them, but the problem is there's a good chance that you'll just end up dying instead.
Once again, dusk sets in over the swamp. Soon, the sandy undergrowth.
Let's go ahead and place all the tiles around here. We're almost done with this. We're not ready to fight these guys yet. We should be tomorrow, though. Also, I do want to start making food storage now. Sorry for the annoying sounds. My nose is just always clogged up. We might actually be able to take on, like, salamanders right now. I could potentially get some aphids from there. But, I don't know, might not be a good idea. I think it's probably best to not do that, at least until the frogs finish showing up. So the first frog is going to come from here, the second one's going to come from here. And despite the fact there's a straight shot to our nest, he's actually going to dig through this way. Probably. He's either going to dig through this way, or he's going to go through here, dig out a bunch of tiles here, and then come down here. And this guy also is not going to take the open route. He's just going to dig directly into our nest. Frogs are annoying because they have a one-hit kill attack, which is their lick attack. They'll just grab an ant with their tongue and eat it. And that also gives them regeneration for a time. Additionally, they have an area of effect attack that you also want to avoid. I'm going to dig this out for another chamber later on. And I'm going to want to surround the starting worker tiles with more worker tiles a little later. So you have an area of effect attack where they'll grab a ton of ants all at once and eat them. And that also gives them regen. So what you want to do is turn off combat, surround the guy, and then turn combat back on. So that way when they do the area of effect attack, it'll only kill a few ants instead of like everybody. Also turn off food gathering or they'll get stuck on the frog's corpse trying to collect food from it. You can also send in a couple like sacrificial ants to bait out his grab attack and then attack him with your full force, but that shouldn't be necessary right now. Alright, send these guys in to take care of this dude. See, we only lost like 1 or 2 ants there. That was lucky. And we shouldn't get attacked by any more. So now we can turn combat on and collect all the food. And I think we only lost 2 food from that. That's fantastic. The reason we're upgrading our food storage is because you'll notice that I've hit my cap of food really quickly, and so that causes the ants to drop any food they're carrying on the way to the nest, which is less than ideal. So we want to be able to store more even if we're going to use it all up immediately. Also, in the late game, we're going to want to have a ton of food so we can respawn them even if we don't have free hatches, because that way we'll be able to respawn them faster. Alright, looks like we are ready. I don't know if we're going to take that on. I think I'll wait a little bit longer. I think I'll wait until daytime to do that. You can take on some of these guys out here. I really want to make sure I can take all these guys on, because there's a lot of them. There's 7. Even with 38 level 3s, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. So we're going to just pick off some of these guys. These dudes have the same area of effect. Not the same attack, but they have a similar attack that's an area of effect. So you want to try and surround them so they don't kill all of your ants at once. See, they're killing quite a bit at once there, because we hadn't gotten a chance to surround them. So now, it might actually be a good idea to go for the pine cone now. I think I'll do that, because I think I have one more night before the frogs start invading from everywhere. Yeah, see, he only took out like 2 guys there. Still want to keep spending our food quickly. Alright, once beetles show up, that means it's daytime.
The nighttime feast is over. Toads give way to tiger beetles, and the ant colonies step up their activities. If the fire ants are to stand any chance of establishing a long-lasting empire, they must grow quickly. There is no time to waste.
I don't know why the little black ants have 2 groups of aphids. It's a little weird. Starting on our second group, as you can see here. If there's a bunch of enemies around here or on the way to the pine cone, you want to take them out one by one before you start a harvesting trail, because the ants are way more spread out now, so if they get attacked, it's going to be a lot harder to defend themselves. See, right there.
The ants must defend themselves.
Oh, and since these guys are all level 3, I can go ahead and take down all the tiles next to them. So that's nice. Alright, looks like we have a chance to collect a few aphids from here. Make sure to keep an eye on the map. I'm not going to go for this guy because I don't want... Just in case the other ants decide to attack, then I don't want to have to worry about that. It's better to upgrade more ants immediately than to make more ants. At least once you have a full group of 38. Alright, 45 ants should be enough to take on these guys. So let's do that and try and collect all this food before nighttime. Yep, see, we're getting looted. Hey, and this guy's helping out. That's awesome. They're only going to get 4 aphids from that, so that's pretty cool. They don't get much of a bonus.
Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected.
We didn't get the whole pine cone, but we got a good amount. Right, to war. Well, technically, war is like an extended conflict with multiple battles. Each individual fight is one battle. Unfortunately, it takes forever to get down to the bottom part of the map. Bottom part of the underground. And as you can see, we are out of aphids. There we go. Out of aphids. You really want food numbers on, because that way you can see the aphids. How many you have, how much food you have, and when it respawns. So we're going to try and get as much food as we can, as fast as we can. Our colony is going to be growing pretty quickly here, from here on out. Send everybody through here. See, if we triggered any of the other colonies, then we wouldn't be able to do this, because we would be regularly getting invaded, so we'd have to keep our army up here to prepare defense for the enemy invasions. And when you can get invaded by 2 colonies at once, that's really bad. This may not be the most aggressive strategy, but it is very consistent. I think fire ants are actually the strongest ones in the game, because just because of the sheer numbers they have, and they have a good damage too with their sting, so they're pretty strong. If you use them in pretty much any other level, even the mad ability levels, you'll just squash everything. It's great. Sending one group only to get this. I want the other guys to just focus on the pine cone, because they're stronger, so they'll be able to defend themselves easier. And of course, we can kill these guys to get some extra food as well. We're also making more workers. And we have velvet ants now. It's a little scary, but we should be fine.
A wingless parasitic wasp, Dasimutilla occidentalis, more commonly known as the red velvet ant, has wandered into Invicta territory. Although not on the hunt for fire ants, it will defend itself if threatened. Armed with an extremely powerful sting and displaying bright warning stripes, most creatures give it a wide berth.
At this point, we don't have to worry very much about spending food on respawns, but I'm still trying to keep my food level low, just for a little extra boost. You'll also notice I'm making more workers now. Send everybody up there now, try and get the pine cone. Excellent. Gonna attack all these guys head on. Apply directly to the forehead. Can now get rid of all of this. Recycle some food, because these are all level 2. I'm putting this here because we want another group up here at some point. The reason we're making more workers is just to respawn faster. Alright, now I'm going to take down the wasp. Tomorrow we're going to... Actually, let's go ahead and clear out some space right now. That's probably not completely necessary. Here, we want to clear out space so we have more room to fight the spiders. Not spiders. Frogs. Those guys.
The ants must defend themselves.
Alright, let's go kill a wasp. Can also make a bridge now. We just shredded that poor guy. You know what? Let's show what happens when you get attacked by these dudes. You build a bridge, and then all the nearby spiders will come in and fight. All of them. Yes. Five spiders. That's a freaking ton. Alright, that went incredibly poorly. But fortunately, hey, we got pervasive ants, so free spawns, probably. Most of the time.
As they encroach on colony territory, battles must be chosen wisely. Spread too thin, the fire ants could find themselves quickly overwhelmed.
Do I want to risk getting the aphids? Probably not. I'm just going to pick off some of the random enemies wandering around here. Aha! False bombardier beetle. I found one of these in real life. I've got a picture of it on the my other tutorial video for this level. Alright, here it says it impersonates true bombardier beetles to ward off predators, but it also has the ability to spray acid. So you might think, well, if it can spray acid, why does it need to imitate the false bombardier beetle, or the real bombardier beetle? Because that's usually used by animals or bugs that can't actually do anything, so they mimic more dangerous bugs in order to defend themselves, to scare off predators. Well, turns out when there's two dangerous bugs of the same color, that causes predators to associate them both with... They associate both of those species with danger faster. So they get a bonus, because if each one was colored differently, then predators would have to learn both colors, but instead they just have to learn that, oh, anything that's this color is dangerous. So that's pretty cool. I learned that from an ecologist plays. Alright, we're getting invoed again. And everyone is going to attack us. They would do this even if we weren't...
Predators are loose in the nest.
Even if we weren't, even if we hadn't dug out everything. But because we've dug out everything, we get all the food from there. Don't worry about trying to bait out their attack now. There's way too many of them to do that. As usual, food gathering off. You want to defend your spawn points here. Your nest groups.
The colony is starving. There's not enough food to feed the new brood.
Because that way you can plant eggs and respawn. Alright, we're almost done with these guys. Gonna send everybody into the same spot, because that's where pretty much all of them are. Let's actually turn food gathering on, because then they'll only gather food if there's no fighting to be done. Yeah, see, we're already running low on soldiers, even though we have so many of them. These guys are pretty dangerous. Ideally, we want to kill the frog the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we will kill the other colonies, and after tomorrow we will kill the frog. It's funny how the narrator won't shut up about the frog, even though it keeps other predators, other amphibians away. It's not invading us like the enemy ant colonies and the little frogs are. So realistically, we would have nothing to gain from killing it. I mean, I know we need a level objective, and it's awesome to have a fun boss, but, like, realistically, there's no reason to do that. Alrighty. I think it's a good time to actually invade the little black ants now. Yeah, let's do that. Let's actually group up here first. Turn off food gathering. We don't really need that right now. Some of our ants will get aphids, which is fine. You can turn that off if you want them to all focus on just fighting. Oh, excellent. Let's actually turn on food gathering for the third group, because they're a little weaker, so gathering food should be fine for them. So you want to wait for the ants to sort of thin out a little bit, so you can pick them off easier, instead of fighting an entire big group at once. You want to just attack a thin, steady trickle of them. The reason we're going for these guys is because they don't have a power-up once you anchor them like the other ants do. Alright, excellent. Now we're just going to camp outside their nest for a bit.
Staving off another night of attacks, the Invicta colony once again proves its strength. Despite this victory, there is yet one obstacle that stands in its way. Ever present, the bullfrog looms over the ants. The beast must be defeated.
It really mustn't. It's funny, mustn't means must not. But there's no way to say doesn't must, like it's not needed. Like, you can say something must be done, but you can't really say something doesn't need to be done using the word must, which is a little funny. It's actually a good idea to go down instead of up, because that way you can clear off some of the workers and prevent them from hatching more ants. That's not always viable, though, so whatever works. And we're kind of losing our group advantage. That's not great. By the way, if you didn't know, you can actually, if you place a marker inside an enemy nest, then it prevents them from... it allows you to look inside the nest even once your ants have left. Normally, you can only see inside enemy nests if your ants are in there, but if you just place a marker inside the nest while you're in there, then even if you leave, if you just double tap the number button for the marker, you can see inside the nest. It's pretty great. So as you can see, we have run out of food completely because we've used so much, but we can still just freely respawn our guys, which is fantastic. Let's see how much food they have. If they're out of food, then they can't respawn. They have plenty of food, darn it. So we just need to camp out here to thin their numbers, and then once a good amount of them are dead, we can charge into the nest before they can respawn much. And it looks like that time is now. Let's go. Almost done here. So yeah, this is where the fire or the pervasive ants shine. 0 food, still respawning. This is why you want a lot of workers, so you can consistently respawn everybody quickly. I've lost a few runs due to not making enough workers. Little black ants can be annoying to deal with just because they're so numerous given how cheap they are, and their confusability is very annoying to deal with if you're another colony. There's a lot of stronger enemies, though, that it doesn't work on. So against big enemies, they're much less likely to do well. We're really struggling here. I don't know why. Normally it's not this hard. I don't know why they're trying to steal aphids. There's nothing there. Now let's just camp out here, whittle their numbers down, and get as many ants right here as possible. And yeah, we're getting attacked on the way there. Not great. Still getting attacked on the way there. Still not great.
The Monomorium minimum colony is almost defeated.
Funny, that's the second time you said that.
Press their advantage.
There we go. I think we can take him down this time. Turns out going down sometimes doesn't work very well. So it's probably best to just try and go directly to the queen. Almost down. These things are tiny. Like, fire ants in and of themselves are really tiny. They're way smaller than the game makes them look, but the little black ants are practically invisible in real life. Practically invisible to the naked eye. And there we go. We've pretty much won by now. We've got very few guys left. And we're right by the queen. Alright, excellent. So now we're going to collect all the food from here.
The little black ants fought to the last to defend their queen. Now the Invicta colony will enjoy the spoils of war. Defenseless larvae from the vanquished colony will be carried home and fed to the victor's own hungry brood.
They're still hatching, that's funny. Make sure food's on for everybody. Splitting them up into different chambers to collect food more efficiently. Do some more upgrading. That's excellent. Yeah, we can maintain a consistent level of soldiers here with the pervasives. That's really good. We have less chance of success in fights individually, but the penalty for losing fights is way more forgiving. It's way less bad. At this point, we have so much food, it doesn't really matter if we waste a little bit on respawns. You don't want to go for the food chambers because they have way less food available. We'll actually turn off aphid collection because if they go get the aphids, then they'll bring them back here, and if there's any other ants, big-headed ants there at the same time as we bring the food back, then we'll have to fight them. That happened last time. We triggered them by accident, I think. My goal is to make tutorials for every story level with every type of ant. So so both variants of the ants, just to show that you can do that, even if it is easier with certain ones. We're strong enough that even a harvesting trail is strong enough to take down most enemies. That's pretty great. We're just going to get this group of food and then this group, and then we'll go attack the other ants. It's very satisfying seeing just tons of ants running around. That's one thing about this game. It is so satisfying to play. I remember back when I was looking up tutorials for this game, because I was having trouble beating it on impossible difficulty. Now I consider even extreme to be easy mode. That's why I started making these tutorials, actually, is because I wanted tutorials of my own, but I was having trouble finding good ones. So I decided to get good at the game and make my own. Took a while to get the skills required, but obviously I made it. Alright. Now we can go ahead and just take down all of this and replace it with more workers. Grouping up here so we can all rush these ants at once.
The local amphibians begin to emerge from moist crevices near the water's edge. Lone invertebrates will be picked off quickly. The ants should travel in numbers or not at all.
We're invading, so we're going to go ahead and turn off food gathering. Yeah, we're shredding these poor guys, because they're all going in at once. And you'll notice they don't have any super soldiers, because we have not attacked them yet. That's another advantage to not triggering the enemy colonies, is you don't have to worry about super soldiers. And yeah, as you can see, there's only 2 super soldier tiles right now. That's not very many. Probably gonna have to retreat soon, because frogs. Probably should have waited for the frogs to finish attacking before going in and killing these guys, but it should be fine. Most likely, almost certainly. Of course, you never can tell. Look at that, 1. We're fighting 1 super soldier. Just want to quickly kill the enemy queen, then bring everyone back for the toads. Yeah, this was probably a bad idea.
The Maurici colony has fallen. Their champions spent.
Yeah, they're 2 champions that they built.
In the end, they could not stand up to the might of the Invicta army.
Most of them are still outside, which is not great.
Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected.
We may not survive this. There's just too many ants that are far away. I really hope we do, though, because it'll suck otherwise. Yeah, lesson learned, don't try and attack another colony right at nightfall. Stupid idea. Alright, everyone's coming in now, though, so we should be okay-ish. The cavalry has arrived. I don't know why it's always cavalry that's the backup, but according to the trope, that's what's happening. Oh, excellent. Enough for respawning that they're taking that guy on themselves. That's excellent. Alright, looks like we're good. We should be good here. 160 ants. That's fantastic. Excellent. So that risk did pay off, but it was pretty close. So I would not recommend doing that. The amphibian attacks at night will get worse and worse as you go along, so don't try to... You want to kill the frog relatively quickly. Don't hang out in the level too long, or no matter how strong you are, the frogs will overwhelm you. Alright. Can look in here and see what's going on, even though we don't have any ants in there right now. Collecting some food, that's excellent. Gonna expand all of the chambers here. And then the rest of the food will be for storage.
The battle has begun.
I don't really like the music in this level. It sounds like Monsters, Inc., which is fine by itself, but it doesn't really fit the level very well, in my opinion. I do like the level, or the music in Bridge Too Far, though. That's my least favorite level in the game, and consequently, the one I am worst at. Alright, so we're gonna go for the chambers that are closest to the queen first, or closest to the entrance first, because we'll get those faster. Except for this one, because, like, look, 1 food, 3 food, 5 food, 1 food. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to kill the frog today, but we can at least expand our army quite a bit. Alright, we're going to go for some fishing spiders now. I'm only going to send 1 group out here, because the rest need to stay here to take care of the fishing spiders. Managed to kill some fishing spiders. Basically, the strategy there is to just
The ants have been attracted to secretions of nectar produced by
oh, there we go, yeah.
plant.
The idea is just to
The ants must position
start a
themselves
bridge just to
areas
get
where
the fishing spider to come out and then attack it. So we decided to wait another day to challenge the, I keep saying spider, the frog. Because I don't know how much time exactly is left today, but I want to make sure I have enough for the frog. Another wasp. More spiders.
The ants must deal with the fishing spiders before they can span this water.
Yeah, see how powerful they are? We just got our abdomens handed to us. This one's actually get toable. I don't know what word you would use for that without having to bridge, so that's nice. Reachable, that's the word I'm looking for. So I wasn't able to get the achievement, but that's fine. Honestly, I probably could have killed the frog, but whatever. It actually doesn't particularly matter. Like, you can attack the frog, and then if it doesn't work out, you can just go back home and wait to try again. But we will lose some food, so that's not ideal. By the way, if you turn off aphid collection, then you'll collect the food from the aphid plant. Then you'll get the aphids. Otherwise, you will just get the aphids and it'll delete the food. So you won't actually get food from it. But we didn't do that right off the bat because we need to get the aphids immediately. Also, there's only so many ants that can fit on one of these aphid leaves. Alright, each group is going to be protecting their own area of the nest. That way, when they respawn, they'll be ready to fight. And we can still see in these guys' nest. That's pretty great. Not that it's really helpful, but it's cool, it's fun. Alright, time to take on the frog. Send everybody up here. Turn off food gathering for now. And we're actually going to want to turn off combat temporarily as well. By the way, the frog will slowly gain more health because she starts out with low health, and then as she eats more amphibians, then she will gain more health. It'll usually have 20,000 health or so by the time you start fighting it. So the reason we're turning off combat is so we can surround it. Because just like the other ones, it has area of effect attacks we want to try and avoid if possible. Definitely keep enemy mounting on.
Toads give way to tiger beetles, and the fire ants are free to farm their aphids without disruption.
We have all the aphids on the map now, by the way, so that's pretty cool.
Again and again, soldiers
By the way, if you do a certain amount of damage to the frog, I don't know how much, but you don't kill it and then you leave, it will actually jump away. It's not really much difference. I think you just get less score if that happens, and you don't get to collect food from it, but we're not going to be collecting food from it anyway. It's almost dead. There we go. So now, we're going to put 2 groups here and 2 groups here. The reason being because this is actually where the amphibians will attack us from. They don't spawn in the nest, they spawn outside of the nest and come in through here and through here. So that's pretty cool.
The presence of the bullfrog was keeping many other local amphibians at bay. The power vacuum it left behind was creating a host of salamanders eager to take its place. The ants should go to ground quickly and prepare for the imminent chaos.
Turn off food gathering now, and now we wait. 244, that should be absolutely plenty.
The ants must fight.
Gonna move the marker around a little bit just to make it a little bit easier to get some of these guys. Seems like there's more on the south, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Some of them may find their way inside, but it shouldn't be a problem. So I don't know if this ends after a certain amount of time or after you kill all the amphibians. I'm pretty sure it's a certain amount of time. But also I think there's a certain number of amphibians you have to kill, so I'm not 100% sure about all that. As you can see, we're doing perfectly well, perfectly fine. This is why you want a ton of workers, because you're going to need them for respawns. Uh-oh, looks like we're going to get some in the nest. That's not great. Maybe not. There we go. So we didn't kill all of them, so apparently that's not necessary, but I do think you have to kill a certain amount. But I'm not 100% sure about that. You can check the wiki or ask someone in the Discord or something. So that's Cold Blood, Impossible difficulty with challenge with pervasive fire ants. Hopefully this video helped you. Let me know if it did or didn't, especially if it didn't. Oh, hi. Oh, I did get the fishing spider achievement. Oh, that's neat. It just didn't show up immediately in the game. So that's pretty fun. Alright, well, now, that's it. Any kind of feedback is possible. Please leave a comment, especially if you didn't like the video or there was something you think I could improve. And let me know what videos you want from this point forward. So, outro words. Bye.